Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Easy Peasy Vocab. Today we are going to learn about the classification of sentences based on the subject and predicate and dependent and independent clauses. They are simple, compound and complex sentences. If you have seen my previous video, we have talked about the types of sentences as declarative, exclamatory, imperative, and interrogative, right? This is a different kind of classification, and let's take a look at what are those. It is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. So, just start learning grammar and become a pro in your English writing and speaking. Classification of sentences. They are classified into four types: simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, compound complex sentences. Let's see the first one. Simple sentence. A simple sentence is an independent clause and has one subject, one predicate, predicate is the verb, and one complete thought. So it has one independent clause. So it stands alone as a sentence. In the first visual, what do you see? You see two boys playing volleyball, right? Let's see the sentence now. I like to play volleyball. This is a simple sentence because you have one subject and one predicate. What is the subject here? I. I is the pronoun and is a subject in the sentence. What is the predicate? The verb is play. So play is the predicate in that sentence. You have one subject and one predicate and it makes a complete thought. I like to play volleyball. In the second visual, what do you see? You see there's rain and a mom and a daughter are going in the rain with an umbrella, right? Now let's see the sentence. It rained heavily for 3 days. How this will become a simple sentence? Let's see. Does it have one subject? Yes. It. And what is the predicate here? Rained. Rained is the verb and it is the predicate here. So, it rained heavily for 3 days is the simple sentence. The next one is compound sentence. Two simple sentences with two subjects and two predicates joined together. And it has two independent clauses. So, two independent clauses, we are joining them together with conjunctions. Do you remember fanboys? If you haven't watched my video, please watch it in the playlist called conjunctions. A comma followed by and, or, but, so, etc. Let's talk about fanboys. So what is fanboys? F is for fur, A is for and, N is for nor, B is for but, O is for or, Y is for yet, and S is for so. These are all the conjunctions. In the first image, what do you see? You see a kid playing basketball, right? In the second visual, what do you see? You see another kid playing soccer. Let's see the sentences. Kim likes basketball. Louis likes soccer. So if you want to combine these two sentences, how do we do that? Kim likes basketball and Louis likes soccer. Isn't it simple? In the third image, what do you see? You see a boy writing his homework, right? In the fourth image, what do you see? You see a park and kids are playing in the park. Tom completed his work. He went to the park for playing. So to combine these two sentences, we can use a conjunction. Tom completed his homework, comma, so he went to the park for playing. Here, you have two independent clauses. In the first sentence, Kim likes basketball is one independent clause. Louis likes soccer is another independent clause. We are joining two independent clauses with the conjunction and. In the second sentence, Tom completed his homework is an independent clause. He went to the park for playing is also an independent clause. we are combining those two with the conjunction so. Tom completed his work, so he went to the park for playing. The third one is complex sentence. It has two related ideas joined by a subordinating conjunction like as soon as, because, before, etc. It contains one main clause, one independent clause, and one or more dependent clauses and, or, but, so, etc. In the first visual, you see a cat eating its snack. In the second visual image, you see a house, right? I eat a snack as soon as I get home. I eat a snack is the independent clause because it has a subject and a predicate and it gives a complete thought. But as soon as I get home, is that an independent clause? No, it is a dependent clause because it's not giving a full thought as soon as I get home. So what do you do as soon as you get home? You're not giving any extra information to complete that, right? So as soon as I get home is a dependent clause and I ate a snack is an independent clause. So we are combining one independent clause and one dependent clause, and this will be a complex sentence. In the third image, what do you see? You see a girl being sad looking out of the window. In the fourth visual, you see full of snow, right? Even the trees are full of snow. Mary didn't go out because of the snow. Here, independent clauses, Mary didn't go out. Mary didn't go out makes sense, gives complete thought, and it is an independent clause. Of the snow. Does it make sense? It's not complete. So you're joining that with a subordinating conjunction because of the snow. Mary didn't go out because of the snow. So this would be a complex sentence. In a complex sentence, you're joining one independent clause with two or more dependent clauses. You can have one independent clause and one dependent clause, or one independent clause and two dependent clauses as well. Got it? If the dependent clause comes before the independent clause, add a comma after the dependent clause. If the main or independent clause comes first, no comma is needed between the two. Let's see an example so that you can understand it clearer or better. In the first image, what do you see? You see a few kids they won a prize, right? And you also see teamwork is written on that picture, right? We won the game because we worked together as a team. So here, what is the independent clause? We won the game, right? Because we worked together as a team is the dependent clause. Because we got the independent clause first, we don't need to put a comma after game. Got it? We won the game because we worked together as a team. So the independent clause came first, followed by the dependent clause. In the second images, what do you see? You see a girl had a fracture for her hand, and then in the second picture you see a few kids playing soccer. Although I broke my arm, I still cheered for my team. Although I broke my arm. Now you have to tell me if it is a dependent clause or an independent clause. Yes, it is a dependent clause because although I broke my arm, what happened after that? You're not giving a complete thought to that sentence, right? So that will be the dependent clause, and because we are getting a dependent clause at the starting, we have to put a comma after arm. Although I broke my arm, comma, I still cheered for my team. I still cheered for my team is the independent clause. Got it? The fourth one is compound complex sentence. Wow, what is this? Nothing but a mixture of both compound and complex sentences. Contains two independent clauses and at least one dependent clause. This is the most sophisticated type of sentence you can use. Let's see an example. In the first picture, you see a boy happily enjoying in a theater, right? He's watching a movie in a theater with popcorn. In the second image, you see that is a picture of a thriller film. Though Jack prefers watching comedy films, he rented the latest spy thriller and he enjoyed it very much. So, this is a combination of both compound and complex sentences. Let's see what it is. Though Jack prefers watching comedy films. So, this is the dependent clause because it is not giving a complete information. It's saying that though Jack prefers watching comedy films. What next? You don't know, right? Comma, he rented the latest spy thriller. So he rented the latest spy thriller would be the independent clause. He enjoyed it very much is also an independent clause. So you have two independent clauses and one dependent clause in the sentence, and you're joining it with and is the conjunction here. So as you're adding and, it becomes compound, right? Though Jack prefers watching comedy films, he rented the latest spy thriller is the complex sentence and he enjoyed it very much is the compound sentence. So you're combining both of them and it has become compound complex sentence. Got it? And can you also observe this? We talked this in the previous slide. Though Jack prefers watching comedy films, as you got the dependent clause first, you had to put a comma and then you wrote your independent clause. He rented the latest spy thriller, right? Now let's see what a fragment is. I have been talking about fragments in most of my videos, but we haven't talked about it in detail. So today we are going to talk about what a fragment is. A fragment is a group of words that are written as a sentence but are missing a subject or predicate or both. Note, a fragment is not a sentence. It is not complete. So in the first visual, what you see? You see a bus, right? School bus. The yellow school bus. Does it make sense? So what is it missing? Does the sentence have a subject and a predicate? Subject and a verb? You have the subject, but it has a missing verb, right? You're not telling what the school bus is doing or did, right? So now let's change it into a sentence. In the second image, what do you see? You see a red signal, right? Now let's change this fragment into a complete sentence. The yellow school bus stopped at the red signal. Now it became a complete sentence because you have a verb there. What is the verb? It is stopped. Bus stopped. So here the subject is the school bus. Yellow would be the adjective because you're describing the school bus. And stopped is the verb. So you have a subject and a predicate. So this fragment became a complete sentence. Run-on sentence. This is interesting. Run-on sentence. Let's see what it is. It has two or more sentences that should be written separately. And it is caused by incorrect punctuation. If you don't use your punctuation properly, the reader wouldn't understand what you're trying to say, right? Let's see an example. Kate found her ball, the dog had chewed on it. Isn't it like completely mixed and not making sense, right? Kate found her ball, the dog had chewed on it. You don't understand whether Kate has found her ball first or the dog had chewed it. There is no proper punctuation there. Can you correct a run on sentence? Yes, you can do. There are two methods to do it. One is by separating the two complete ideas into two sentences, like you're doing two separate sentences. You can do Kate found her ball, period, the dog had chewed on it. That is one way. You can also correct a run on sentence by rewriting it as a compound or complex sentence using a conjunction. Kate found her ball, comma, although the dog had chewed on it. Here, although is a conjunction. So, this run on sentence has been corrected and we wrote it as Kate found her ball, although the dog had chewed on it. Can you tell me which sentence is this? Like it is a compound or complex sentence? Yes, it is a complex sentence because although the dog had chewed on it is a dependent clause and Kate found her ball would be an independent clause. Got it? Now, let's see a few more examples. Identify simple, compound, complex sentences. Let's look at the first one. When Hermione arrived, we threw a big party. When Hermione arrived, this is a dependent clause. So it is very clear. The sentence would be complex. She liked cheese, but she didn't like milk. She liked cheese is a independent clause. She didn't like milk is also an independent clause. So we are combining those two with the conjunction but, and the sentence should be compound. Although traffic was bad, Amber was still on time. Although traffic was bad is a dependent clause. Amber was still on time is an independent clause. So that would be complex sentence. Tina went for shopping. This is pretty simple. Simple sentence. Tina is a subject and went is the predicate. Paul was scared because he didn't like Halloween. Because he didn't like Halloween is a dependent clause. Paul was scared is the independent clause. So this would be a complex sentence. The store was closed. This is also simple, quite simple, right? Store is the subject, closed is the predicate. John didn't eat his dinner because he was upset. John didn't eat his dinner is an independent clause. Because he was upset is a dependent clause. So this sentence would be complex. Maria wanted to go to school, but she was sick. Maria wanted to go to school is an independent clause. She was sick is also an independent clause and we have combined it with the conjunction but. So this will be a compound sentence. While Max was at recess, he fell and hurt his knees. While Max was at recess. While Max was at recess is a dependent clause because what happened after that? You don't know, right? He fell and hurt his knees is independent clause. So this sentence would be complex sentence. Let's see the last one. I hope I do well on my test. This is simple because you have a subject and a predicate, right? Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe and comment for more videos. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.